What's up, guys? So, today's talk about rule sets. What would I do for rule sets at tournaments? After 6 months of this game being out, we have a lot of data to work with. So let's just get right into this. First of all, 7 stock versus 8 minute. 7 minute versus 8 minutes. I think 7 minutes is better. So, 8 minutes is fine, but most matchups that will go to time in 7 minutes will go to time in 8 minutes. So that doesn't really change much. But 7 minutes means tournaments run more efficiently. And for most people, 7 minutes is more than enough time to play matches. Also, when you play in quick play, you do have 7 minute timers at max, so that's not really a great reason. But it's still something. You're more used to 7 minutes if you're playing a lot of quick play on Wi-Fi. And yeah, I'm not really too adamant about 7 versus 8 minutes, but also sometimes timeouts are kind of fun to watch, and 7 minutes will lead to slightly more timeouts, which means more exciting, like, oh my god, there's 30 seconds left, what's going to happen type gameplay. So, and for the lane matches, it's just, you have less amount of lane play time. Next up, PS1 versus PS2. I actually think PS1 is a better stage if they remove the glitches. I like the smaller blast zone. I like the smaller stage length. I like the fact that the side blast zone isn't as close to the side of the stage, but like I said, the top blast zone is a little bit shorter, I should say, to clarify. The platforms being shorter means a lot more characters can pressure on them with up smashes and stuff, which is just nice in my opinion. I think it leads to healthier gameplay because a lot of times it's hard to catch people going to platforms on PS2. But the glitches are the right platform slightly slanted on PS2. There's some weird issues with the edges on PS2. It seems like there's some weird slants or something going on there where people like have funky interactions. It's hard to see people's ledge options due to the way the camera is and the stage looks on PS1. The background camera can be a little bit distracting on PS1. And yeah, if they fix those issues though, it's a better layout slightly than PS2. Next up, the hazards on versus off. I know Japan actually runs mixed hazards rule set, but we've seen in multiple times casual players mess up the mixed hazards on versus off rule set, and honestly it's just frustrating to deal with. This interrupts the flow of the game, and honestly hazards off has been fine so far. Next up, items. I want final smashes on high. Okay, let's get to actual the actual important thing. Next up, stages. So 5-stage starter list, right? Good. My local runs 9-stage chart for some reason, and no one actually strikes all 9 starter stages because it's so annoying to remember all the stages and to like think of a strategy. It's just a huge time waste to strike 9 stages. And 3 is not fair for the person who has to strike first, and even 7 is a bit too much. So 5 is a perfect number. You've run this for a long time. It's easy enough to plan around. You have a good balance of stages, and yeah. Now, what were the actual stages? Now, the first 3 are kind of easy. Smashville, PS2 Battlefield. I don't think there's much to say. These ones. The FD, I think, is a pretty easy one as well to state. I know some people disagree with FD as a neutral. I think it's a fair neutral. I mean, no stage is truly neutral, but it creates an archetype that no other stage does without being like degenerate. Like, FD is a great stage, honestly. Not degenerate. You know, it's different type of stage. You know, it's fair in most matchups. If you don't like it, though, get rid of it. It's not like ultra degenerate like Duck Hunt was in Smash 4. Now, for 5th stage, I like Lylat over Town and City. Those are generally the 2 stages people juggle between. Lylat Town, Lylat Town. The reason I like Lylat is it's a different type of layout. It's a tripod layout where the platforms are spread out pretty far. It has a long-ish main stage without being too long. It has, you know, sloped ledges. It has sloped platforms. However, there's no wall, so you're not forced into certain recovery angles that get you killed because of the slopes. You can go underneath the stage. You can go to the platforms. You have a lot of options to work with when recovering. You can use the slopes for offensive or defensive play, but very rarely can it be used for like abusive, degenerate play, because it's not like Yoshi's Bar, which we'll get into later. And it feels cramped, but at the same time there's room to move around in. Blast zone's well sized, I'm not sure I said that yet. And overall, it's a mix of PS2 and Smashville and Battlefield and FD and how you can play and use it. So I think it's a great 5th stage. I know people don't like it because glitches. Like, there aren't really glitches in Lylat anymore with hazards off. I know we've seen Peach not be able to grab ledge with up B if she's going max speed at the ledge. And Rosa, if she like up B's at a certain angle, she can't grab the ledge either. But Like those are easily counterplayable. Those are very specific examples, and that's one of those things where it's like know your character, know the matchup, know the stage, and you should be totally fine. Now, next up, now why do I like that over Town? I think Town has a bit too much in common with PS2 in particular. I know the data doesn't really show this, so it might just be a me thing, but a lot of times I find myself going, okay, well, Town and City. It's like, does my opponent like FD? They probably like Town, and it tends to be true in my experience. Or they like PS2? They probably like Town. So I find there's just a bit of correlation when it comes to striking between Town or FD. Not enough that I would like ban Town if I ban FD. Generally, I ban Town if I ban PS2. But enough that it feels like it definitely affects my character choice game 1 if I have Town available. I mean, obviously, whatever stage is available will affect my character choice game 1. But it feels particularly noticeable when fighting characters good on those stages. But otherwise, it's a fine stage. Because the platform layout is different. You know, you have multiple phases. The changing phases is actually pretty freaking cool, in my opinion. It's a long stage. Blast zones are well done. Some characters go underneath the stage, some characters can't. So it's like, it's not like Battlefield basically any character go underneath the stage, but it's not like a wall stage don't go underneath it. It's a good mix. And yeah, I think Lylat's still better than Town. I know I kind of ranted on this for too long, but Town is also a fine neutral, just not as good as Lylat. And regardless, for some reason though, TOs keep banning Lylat, period, and I'm so confused about that. Don't ban Lylat, guys. Please stop it. Next up, for the remaining 4 stages, I generally consider legal. Unova sucks. The platform height on Unova is too high up, where characters have so much trouble pressuring those platforms in a lot of matchups. And some characters can basically just land on the platforms for free, and there's not much that can be done about it. It's actually really lame. And I think it's stupid to fight characters in matchups where it feels like you can't actually catch them at disadvantage, because the platforms are just so unfavorable to you and so favorable to your opponent. And you can say ban them, ban the stage, but it reminds me of a Duck Hunt in Smash 4 in a way, where when people get better at abusing that, it's just gonna feel really bad to fight against. I feel like auto wins in a lot of matchups. And that Callus has a similar issue where the side platforms are a bit too far off the side that a lot of characters can't properly chase. And also a lot of characters can like up B across the stage and be impossible to chase. Or it's so, the risk reward's so skewed in the opponent's favor that chasing them like versus Snake is just not worth it. Even versus Rosa, it's like so hard to do and can be so risky and not worth it. Even versus so many characters actually, it can just be so not worth chasing that those side platforms, if they would move a little bit more on stage, would be great. But as it is right now, or if the stage was a little bit shorter, it'd be great. But as it is right now, it's a bit too frustrating to deal with. And then also there's a free escape off ledge option, but that's more of a, hey, I need to get off the ledge freely, and I know my character sucks there. Let me pick Callus because great count pick for me. Afterwards, we have the 2 Yoshi stages, right? Yoshi's Melee is a great stage. Like, it can be a very counter-picky stage because small blast zones, walls, slant the slopes, triplat, like small side blast zones and top blast zones. But nothing's degenerate about it. It might be a bit of a strong counter pick, but it's not so strong that it's like an auto win. And my only issue with it is it's similar to Battlefield, so you have like 2 Battlefields in a way. But even then, a lot of characters that like Battlefield don't necessarily want to pick Yoshi's story. So in theory, it's like Battlefield. In practice, it's not actually like Battlefield, always. And then Yoshi's Brawl, I think it's a similar boat. I think it's a more frustrating stage because it feels like you're limited due to the hills on the side, making some characters able to camp the slopes on the side really well. Due to the concave in the middle being really annoying because they can like stop characters from full hopping onto the main platform. But it's not. It's a counter-picky stage like Yoshi's story, and similar to Smash Bros, but once again not the same thing. So people that like Smash Bros don't necessarily like Yoshi's Brawl. And I think it's a fine stage to have in our list. If not, I could see a stage getting banned because it might be a bit too hard of a counter pick for certain characters, but I really think as this game's Lylat, where it's just a lot of people don't like the stage, and a lot of characters do get negatively impacted, and a lot of characters just want to ban it because it feels frustrating to play on, but it's actually totally okay. And last thing I want to touch up on is Fountain of Dreams and Dreamland. So Dreamland is too similar to Battlefield to be played on, and same with Fountain of Dreams, where it's like, So with Hazards off, Fountain of Dreams doesn't have moving platforms, which sucks because I think it's actually an amazing stage with Hazards on. But like I said, Hazards on, off, mixed rule set's kind of annoying to work with. Because I'm pretty sure the water, the glitch with the water like causing the game to drop frames is gone. I could be wrong with that as well. And if we were to ever play in a mixed rule set or Hazards on full rule set, Fountain of Dreams would be an amazing stage to have. And then Dreamland, no reason to have it. Alright guys, that's it for my video on my optimal rule set. Come back another year when I change my opinions maybe, maybe not. We'll see how the game evolves. If that's it guys, peace out.